What's up, Pete? What's going on, peeps? I was trying to do a live Q&A earlier, but nobody got on. I guess I haven't established a level of, I guess I have not established a rapport yet with my subscribers. So I'm just going to talk about, two things that, holding people back from getting into physical therapy school. I did the live stream earlier on Facebook. I was inspired to actually talk about this because after coming back from a business conference led by Greg Todd, Paul Koff, and Aaron LeBauer. So one of the things those guys mentioned, Paul Koff mentioned in a business conference, he said this. He said, your business will succeed if you can help someone make a decision. So, and that really resonated with me because that's one of the things that it's holding people back from getting into PT school. They're not deciding. They're agonizing. They're contemplating. They're worrying over whether or not they're good enough to apply to PT school. They're worrying about the difficulty of the GRE. That's just too much worrying. You know what that does? That creates frustration. It creates stress, and stress creates inaction. You guys ever notice this? You have a test coming up in like 2 weeks, and you just, oh my God, you're just worrying about, how much you're going to study for the test and how that's going to take away from, fun time. You're just worrying about, even opening the book and seeing the materials. And you just spend all this time worrying, and next thing you know, it's 2 days before the exam and you haven't done anything. That's what that does. So don't be that person. Just stop worrying. Stop worrying. Decide. You got to decide when to apply. Decide everything that you decide what you're going to be doing in order for you to get to that next step. And which leads me to the next thing that hold people back. And that is, in order for you to decide, you have to ask the right question. And that's one of the things I notice, especially from people that message me and the people that I've been coaching. They ask me the wrong question. They ask me, hey, what are my chances in getting into PT school? I don't know. As far as I know, 2 people are on. Oh, one person left. Type your name on the comment section so I can know where you're from and how best can I serve you. They told me I don't interact well with my subscribers, so I'm trying to do that today. It's a nice, beautiful day outside, 70-degree weather in Boston. I'm not wearing a hoodie anymore, so it's a great time to interact with your subscribers. Let me know where you're from so we can have a conversation. All right. So, yeah, I was saying that people are not asking the right questions. I've been asked, what are my chances? Oh, it's Christian again. Yeah, I deleted the live stream earlier because something was going on with my audio. So, yeah, I was saying earlier that, people are not asking the right questions. You're asking me, what are my chances in getting into school? I don't know. You could have the best GRE score in the world. You could have a 3.9 GPA, and yet you might not get accepted. You might get rejected. That's just the reality of things. There's a lot of things that plays into, the application process and how the admission team process your application. So the better question is, the question you should ask is, what is the minimum that I need to do in order for me to, get my application reviewed? And then you expand upon that. Oh, and that question is very specific, and it's specific to the school because, MGH, IHP, where I go to, have different requirement than Boston University or Memphis University, if Memphis University exists, than Maryland University, So find out what the school want, how much observation they want, what's the minimum GRE score they want, the minimum GPA. And then once you have that information, then you can expand upon that to become an even better competitive applicant. That's it. So ask the right questions, and after you ask the right questions, you got to decide, and you got to decide fast. That was one of my problems when I was applying to school. I was just sitting there, just looking at, going on forums and comparing my stat with people, and all I did was that discouraged me, because everyone had like a 3.9, 3.8. They worked as an A, so they had multiple hours of observation, and I was just dipping my toes into physical therapy school. At the time, I didn't even know. It's funny because when I decided to apply to, I was wondering what happened. I just graduated in college. Now I'm taking prerequisites for physical therapy school. I'm taking the GRE this fall and trying to find places for observation. Cool. That's the right way to go. I mean, I don't know how many prereqs. So you said you graduated. So this is actually perfect. This is a perfect time. Because I know this for me, after I graduated, I was more focused on, the path towards PT school. I wasn't getting distracted by college parties and friends. I was locked in. And I hope that, you finding that same feeling. Because for me, it was great. Finishing college and going into a community college to retake some prereqs, it was the best thing that happened to me, actually. As far as observation hours, I don't know if you, actually I don't remember the question you asked. I don't remember if you asked me if you actually observing, or you trying to get some observation hours. I think the best way to do it, the best way to go about it, is to get a job as a tech. Get a job as a tech, because it's one thing you go into a clinic and you observe, you just passively observing, you're not interacting much with the patient at all. So their perspective that you're going to be lacking. But as a tech, there's so much more that you can absorb as a tech, because not only that, you're working with the patient, you're helping them with the exercise, you're interacting with the PTs in the clinic that you're observing every day. You guys bond, you form a family. You get to see the patient go from day one to a month later. I literally had one patient one time I was like, the first week that I started my as a tech in this PT clinic, patient had a frozen shoulder. I don't remember the circumstances of the injury, but the patient had a frozen shoulder and she couldn't move her shoulder at all and whatnot. And that bothers her, because she needed to play with her grandkids, and that was like her motivation. Her motivation was to play with her grandkids, and she was very motivated to get her shoulder moving. And then literally like a month and 2 months later, she could basically throw a softball, and she was crying. I kid you not, she was crying. She gave me the tightest hug ever, and I barely did anything. I barely treated the lady. I couldn't treat. I could just guide her through her exercise, and I guess that was enough for her. And she was very happy, and she said I contributed to the fact that now she can move her shoulder and she can play with her grandkids. And it's amazing. And that feeling of treating a patient, I mean, not treating a patient, that feeling of going through the rehabilitation process with a patient is amazing. It's amazing. And as a tech, as a PT aide, you have the opportunity to experience that. But as a mere shadower, a mere observer, you might not. And when you get perspective like the one I just talked about, you can write a better essay that way. You will know exactly what they want, what they want you to talk about in the PT cast essay topic. Yeah. I don't know if you have any other questions. And of course, when you're PT tech, that bonding that you created with the physical therapist in there gets translated into a nice recommendation letter. Now, one thing that kills people, by the way, is the crappy recommendation. Crappy recommendation. The first time I applied, I asked somebody to write me a recommendation. I was somebody that I observed at their clinic for literally like 3 weeks, and I just felt comfortable asking for recommendation, and I did. And she was nice. She said yeah, but observing at a clinic for 3 weeks, and you're only observing for 5 hours a day, it's not enough for the person to get to know you. So I don't think they're in the best position to write you anything that's that of value, because they don't know anything about you. But as a tech, man, they can write everything they need. I don't know if you've seen the movie, the Devil Wears Prada. Don't ask me why I watched this movie, but in the ending scene when she was trying to find a new job, and the boss says, "Hey, listen, I called your recommendation, and you never know, you have this person. I forgot her name, but it's the boss lady from the Devil Wears Prada, and she recommended her for the job, saying, "Hey, listen, if you don't take her, it's the worst mistake you could ever done." So that's the kind of recommendation you get when you bond with the PTs at the clinic you work at. I don't know if that helps, but yeah. If you have any question, shoot them. I'm here for another maybe 10 minutes or so. Says, great advice. I'm just very nervous. It's a lot of prep. Oh my God. It took me. So listen to this, right? I graduated in 2012, December 2012. And I got into PT school in 2016. So first, I graduated with a 2.6. I'm sure you've seen this from my video. So I had to get my prereq GPA, up in there. I had to boost that prereq GPA up. So it took me from working 40 hours a week to observing in a clinic. At the time I just gave you the advice of become a PT tech, but before, when the first time I applied to PT school, I was just shadowing. So shadowing almost every week, and then taking your prereqs, that it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you. It's a lot of preparation. I know it takes a lot of dedication. You have to really want to be a PT, before you go that route. It's exhausting. I remember some days, man, I worked 8 hours during the day, and then I go observe for 3 hours, and then I have a night class, and then I have to do the same thing tomorrow morning. Man, thank God, that chapter is done, and I'm in PT school now. But hey, props to you, man. Just keep at it, and if you have any questions, if you need anything, you know how to reach me, of course. That's what I do. I'm here to support people going through the process. When I was going through the process, I literally had nobody to help me. Well, actually, that's a lie. I had people to help me after I got rejected. But the first time I was applying, I didn't get any help. So it can be lonely sometimes. Just going through the process and explaining to your parents that you want to go to PT school, and first of all, they don't even know what PT is. And it's hard to find the support, especially when you tell them, hey, this is the salary for PT school. Well, when you become a licensed physical therapist, and this is the amount of loan that I'll have to take. And it doesn't balance out. And to them, they don't understand. My parents are immigrant. They only care about professions that rewards with a lot of money. Physical therapist, it's right around the ballpark. As a new grad, you can get about 70, high 60s and low 70 G's a year. But when you compare it with the amount of loan you're gonna have, it doesn't make sense. And that's what the parents see. That's what my parents see. And they weren't really, they supported me, but they weren't really for it in terms of the kind of lifestyle that I'll have after I graduate. If I don't do things to get me to my goal early on, life's gonna be a little bit challenging. But hey, I love PT. There's no other profession and I think I could have done. I'm 28 years old, by the way. It took me a while to find this path, and believe me when I tell you, there's no other profession out there that's better than PT, in my opinion. Of course, I'm biased. I'm very biased. Yeah. So yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Just GRE. Don't. I'm not even gonna talk about that. That's a beast. That's a beast in itself. I took it like 3 times. before I could get the score I wanted, and it still wasn't the score I wanted. The first time I tried to take it, I didn't bring my ID. I paid, I think, $140 to take the test, and I didn't bring my ID with me, and they told me you couldn't take it. Second time I tried to take it, I didn't get the score I wanted. But afterwards, one thing about the GRE is this: when you take it, after you take it, immediately what you need to do to improve. That's why I encourage people to take practice tests. Like, I don't know if you've seen my video on crushing the GRE, but they are software that simulate the GRE taking test. So it literally just, you have 20, you have 20 minutes to type out your essay, and then the verbal section, you have 25 minutes to answer all the question. The math section, the same amount of time. It replicates the test exactly how it is. So I recommend people taking that test to they have a general idea of what they need to do, to get a general impression of, where their weakness is, so they can, expand upon that, so they can, tackle it. That's the best thing about the GRE. If you take it, you will know how to improve it, how to improve that section, but you will know exactly where to, touch upon. And after taking the test like 4 times, I knew, what was my weakness was essay. There's nothing I could do to, get a better essay score, because I'm a terrible writer. But my strong point in GRE was the math section. I knew no matter how many times I review for it, I was still gonna get the same score every time I take the GRE. I always get the same score for the math section. So there's 150, 151, and then the section that I always make the most improvement is the verbal section. Every time I take it's my weak section, by the way. I take it. The first time I took it, I think I scored about 142, and I was like, okay, so I need to improve upon that. Took it again, 144. Took it again. I think the last score that I had was 149. So it shows you that you can improve. You can improve, and a lot of it depends on how much you're studying, and you have to really study. Like, you gotta study. You gotta practice. I know I'm repeating those words a lot, but you literally have to practice taking the test. That's the only way you're gonna do better. Practice. Yeah. I don't know if you have any questions. I'm just rambling. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not very comfortable doing live stream. The math section will be the hardest part for me. See, here's another thing. You don't have to be good at math to do great at the math section. You don't have to be good at math at all. Here's the thing about the GRE. It's not much as, it's not how much you know about a certain topic. It's not about how great you are at math, how great you are with, your linguistic skills. Though, if you know a lot of words, if you're good with words, you articulate and you read a lot, you get an advantage. You get not props to you, but if you're good with words, you're good with writing, that you have an advantage in the writing section. But you don't really need, that kind of gift to do well on the GRE. You just need to. The GRE is more of a test taking abilities. The GRE is testing your test taking ability. Basically, that's all it is. You have to learn how to take the test. Literally, learn how to take the test. They're all in. I don't know what kind of prep books are you using, by the way? Because certain prep books have strategies in them. It lay out all the strategies for every section, and if you study those strategies, you'll be much more confident when you take the test. The math section and the verbal section, it doesn't really matter. They have strategies for the essay question, but as someone like me who cannot write for shit, that doesn't help me out. But you might have a different experience. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I never tell people this story, but I didn't know. So I graduated in 2012, but I didn't know if physical therapy existed in 2011. I didn't even know. I did not even know. I was telling people earlier from the previous live stream that I wanted to become a doctor, but that shit didn't work out. So I was trying to find alternative careers, and the person that was advising people, the person that was advising the pre-PT, not pre-PT, the pre-med students, he gave me this list. The list was alternative careers to medicine, and it felt like the losers list. Basically, he basically told me, "Oh well, man, I knew you weren't cut out. I knew you weren't cut out for medicine. So here's the alternatives. Get out of my office." Well, he didn't say that, but it felt like it said that. It really felt like that. And I saw podiatry, occupational therapy, nurse practitioner, and physical therapy. Nurse practitioner in that list made the most money. So, of course, I was, very attracted to that. But, the term nurse didn't really made it for me. I didn't like the term nurse in there because I don't know why. I think my general impression was only women can be nurses, but but now that I think about it, I see there's a lot of male nurses now. So I think I would have done great if I became a nurse, but nonetheless, by some dumb luck, I decided to observe what physical therapy was. And I went there was a PT clinic down the street from me, and I literally just walked in and said, "Hey, I'd like to observe. I'm getting interested in the field. Let me observe with you guys for 1 or 2 days to see if it's something that I can do." And then I was like, oh my God, okay, everyone was laid back in there. The stress level was pretty low. That's actually what attracted me to physical therapy too, by the way. It was the people were having fun doing their job. It wasn't like it was completely different than going to the doctors. I don't know if obviously you've gone to the doctors. I don't know if your primary care doctor is the same as my primary care doctor, but every time I'll go, the amount of interaction I get with him was this much. And he asked me the same question that the nurse had asked me earlier. Name, date of birth, and then why am I seeing him today? There was no report with a physician. But when I went to shadow a physical therapist for the first time, my God, it was like it didn't feel like someone was treating somebody. It felt like someone stopped by to visit their friend. People were laughing. Stress level was pretty low. And patient loved doing exercises. And I thought it was fascinating, by the way, that you could get better by doing exercise. Because I told you before, I didn't know what physical therapy was. And then I noticed, hey, people, it's actually a thing, physical therapy. You get therapy with, by doing physical activities and stuff. I was like, wow, okay, I definitely need to look into that. And then a couple years later, I'm a second-year PT student. And it turns out there's a lot more into PT than I actually realized. There's a lot of setting. There's a lot of things you can do. And now I'm realizing as a PT in this day of age, you cannot just be a PT. You have to be something else. I don't know if hey, how you doing? Lord praise. Oh, I know who you are. You're from Florida, right? Yeah. There's a lot of things you can do with PT now. There's you can go into, says I'm going to use the online GRE practice on the GRE reps. Yes, use that. I wanted to go to med school when I was in high school, but didn't. Oh shoot. Wanted to go to med school. My mom said physical therapy, and I read on it, and it sounded like something I would love to do. Okay. Yeah, man. So it's one thing. It always start with this. Every time I hear it, it's med school. Well, med school does not work. Let me find something else. And then people fall in love with physical therapy. But don't underestimate it. That shit is hard. Of course, man. That's what parents do. They suggest the profession, it's one thing, because when you're immigrant, right, your parents want you to do better than them. So naturally, they're gonna suggest you find the profession that's gonna reward you the most. And to them, rewarding the most means money, right? They don't want you to starve like them. I don't know if my parents are, they're not exactly the rich type. Of course, they want me to do better than them, and to them, their value is always in education, and to them, the highest level of education you can get is, a doctorate level. And every time they hear the word doctorate, they think physician, they think med school. So naturally, they wanted me to go in that direction. But it's one thing when it's one thing to listen to your parent and follow and absorbing their value, but and trying to be a good student, a good kid. That's another thing when you're trying to be a good kid and then you realize, oh shit, I want to be a good kid, so I want to be proud. I want to make my parents proud, but I don't know if this is right for me. And it's the hardest thing too, by the way, to find what you want to do. It's as you get older, like you start asking this question a lot more, like, what is my purpose in life? What is it that I'm meant to do? And it's not an easy question to ask. If you ask a 19 years old, what is his purpose in life? What does he want to do? Absolutely no way they know what they want to do. They're 19. But as you get older, you have enough life experience. You realize, hey, listen, I've been out there and I know the stuff that I like and I know the stuff that I don't like. So I'm just going to go in the direction of the stuff that I like. And that's my advice to people, by the way. If they want to find out what they want to do, you just got to go out there and get some life experience, man. Go travel, go to Guatemala, go to India, travel the world, take some random jobs. Say yes more often. There's a lot of people saying no to something. Oh, let's go to this, let's go to that. Oh, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do. Say yes a lot more often. Then you're gonna, rack up in some life experience, and as the years go, you find your answer. It might not be what your parents want. It might not be, what you expected. But hey, you find an answer. It saves you a lot of time and energy. Because I know a lot of people that are working in a corporate setting, and they hate it. That's not what they want to do, and they have no idea what else they want. But they have to make ends meet somehow, and they still stay in a dead-end job. I refused to do that. I was in a dead-end job. I didn't like it. The environment was really kind, but the people in that environment, they weren't really looking for growth. Most people were complacent, and it's not an environment you want to stay in. So I had to get out. Then, I found physical therapy in the process. So yeah. I don't know if you have any question. I could go on all day, man. How's Memphis like? By the way, I've never been. I think never been to that part of the state, really. So yeah. Let me know if you have any. It sucks. Why? Oh God. Why does it suck? You don't like it? Come to Boston. If you like cold weather, it's the right place for you. Right place for you. It's a sports city. If you like sport, you're in the right state. It's super competitive here. We almost made it to the NBA final, but LeBron James wouldn't let that happen, so we had to settle with what we got. As far as school right now, school's going, well, I won't say great, but things is stressful. I have 2 exams coming up next week. It's a final exam, and then right after the final exam, the next week we have a comprehensive exam, and that shit's gonna be a bitch. Oh my God. so much materials to review. So much materials to review, man. Hip, knee, ankle, orthotics, gait. Says there's nothing here for me. I'm not really a cold-blooded person, but it's better than the heat. Good luck on your exam. Well, thank you very much. All right, well, that's the end of the live stream. I don't know, let me know if you guys want to do Q&As every Saturday, because I have some times in the Saturday morning to do Q&As and whatnot. I love to do that. I love to connect with you and find out more about my subscribers, and you guys can give me some suggestions on videos to make, because a lot of time I get video ideas, but I don't have time to make them because I have to study. And some other times I don't have any videos ideas, and I would love to hear a couple suggestions from you guys. Bye. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to do Q&A every Saturday morning. And of course, I'm very I keep true to my word. So if you guys say yeah, I can get on there every Saturday, and you guys can have questions beforehand, and I'll do my best to answer them. Yes, you want that? Good. Well, I guess I'll see you next Saturday morning. Give me a time frame too, because I wake up very early, but you might not wake up at the same time as me. For example, this morning I woke up at like 5:30 for some reason. I don't know why, but I just woke up. But all right, let me know. See you next Saturday.